Hi there, welcome to Gaining Vision. I'm Melanie. Have you had an opportunity to subscribe to the channel yet? If not, take a second, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to like and share. Also, if you want, you can hit the bell below and it'll notify you every time I upload a new video. Teachers have been getting the bum rap, and I thought I'd take a reality check and look into the day in the life of a teacher. Some people feel teachers go into teaching because they get their summers off, Christmas and March break. They don't have to work very hard. And after all, it's good pension and they get paid well. That's not it at all. People go into teaching because they're passionate about making a difference in the lives of children. They help them learn and grow into adults. Teachers go through training, obviously through Teachers College, and they have to continuously upgrade themselves by taking additional qualification courses, upgrading their licensing, and keeping on top of all the new teaching techniques, as well as all the ministry guidelines and anything for that particular school they teach in. Teaching isn't always secure. A lot of times, a lot of the contracts are long-term, occasional, or contract-based. Not all of them have full-time hours. Some of them have to split their day between schools. And there's so much work that goes into preparing to teach. So when you think that they're all vacationing in the summer, the reality is they're either upgrading, taking courses, or planning out the next school year. As soon as they find out what grade they're teaching, the planning begins. They just don't plan for the first month of school. They plan for the year. They map up, they look at the ministry guideline, what they have to cover, and if they haven't taught that grade before, that could be upgrading themselves and learning on what needs to be covered. They plan the units and all the different lesson plans in that, creating tests and exams, things that perhaps may not work for some reason. You may have a different type of learner in your class that you didn't prepare for. So you always have to have plan A, B, C, and D. Not only are they planning in the summer, but they're then having to go into the classroom and make it all look great, because all summer it's been cooped up, it's stuffy, and perhaps doesn't look so good. Obviously the custodians and the caretakers are there to clean it, but the teacher comes and brings it to life, whether it's creating interactive bulletin boards, making sure that the classroom is safe and exciting for the new learners coming in, and depending on the grade, ensuring that it has all the tools and utilities that it needs for the students preparing for September. Then, of course, when the students come, not only do they have to get to know the student and their educational needs, they have to build a rapport with that student. And if you have anywhere from 28 to 30 students in a class, that takes time. So not only prepping and teaching, but also building rapport with these students. Then comes the marking as you assign work. You have to make sure that they're A, doing their homework, B, marking it so that they get back so they can get some feedback on how they're doing. And then C, you also have to make sure that if a student is struggling, that you're helping them get the resources they need to get back on track. Whether that means you spending extra time with that student or finding the resources throughout the school system or talking to the family. There's parent-teacher interviews, there's staff meetings, there's professional development and training days. All of these things, parents always go, oh my gosh, it takes so many time off. But the reality is it's to help the students in the end. Now there are so many joys to being a teacher, watching a student grow, especially when they struggle and when they finally get it. It is so rewarding. Getting to be part of all the extracurricular activities, whether it's a sports team, a club, a play, any of those things, those are the fun parts of being a teacher. But the reality is a lot of parents are really harsh on the teachers. If their child is struggling in a subject, they automatically blame the teacher. But it could also be that the school itself or the system doesn't have the resources to provide those things for the teacher. As I mentioned, a lot of the classes are large, 28 to 30 students, and if they're not being provided with time or help in the classroom with educational assistants or teaching assistants to help with making sure all the students are meeting the needs as well, it can be overwhelming and exhausting for the teacher. Another pro about being a teacher, of course, is the exciting aspect of creating new ideas and new ways to teach a concept. So you get to use your creativity to teach basic fundamental skills. And you get to get creative in trying with the new technology that's available, with the new resources that are available, but that does mean time to prepare and to find out what those resources are. A lot of teachers will not only be part of online groups of other teachers to share ideas, but they'll also be creative and going out to look at different resources that are available at different conferences and talking to teachers from around the world. I belong to an online group for international teachers from all different countries working with special education, and we brainstorm ideas that have worked and share resources, and this is an amazing source. Being a teacher also, you get to know your students in a really good way. You have to make sure that they're okay, not just at school but outside of school. So if you see any signs of neglect or abuse, you need to report it as a teacher. That's also a big responsibility, because if you're called upon to testify at a court case, you have to do that. So there's a lot of other aspects to teaching than just actually teaching. You also have to be able to think on your feet, because let's face facts, sometimes your day gets messed up and half your class doesn't show up for whatever reason, and your teaching plan may not work for that day because you know a lot of them are going to miss out. So you have to have that backup plan. And you never know when you're going to be sick, so your planning has to be done well in advance. So in case you have to get a substitute teacher to cover for you, you have to give them resources and a plan to follow. It's a big responsibility to be a teacher, but it's also the most rewarding profession that I would never want not to do. It is so exciting, and it's wonderful to watch students grow and blossom into the wonderful individuals that they are. I've had the pleasure of having students come back years later tell me how the impact I've had on their life. But teachers don't do it for that reason. They do it because they want to help make a difference. We may not realize the impact we have on our students at that moment, but hearing those students come back and say thank you, it's worth more than you will ever know. So next time you have a teacher, thank them. If you're a parent, try and understand where teachers are coming from. They're human beings too. They have families. They have also outside extenuating circumstances that are happening to them as well. So maybe it's time for you to cut them a break and not be so hard on them. For all those teachers out there, thank you for what you do. Keep doing what you're doing, and keep that passion alive. Because let's face it, there are some of us that get to a point where it's time to retire and let the new generation of teachers take over. But for myself, I'll be teaching for a long time to come because I love it. I love to inspire students and see their successes. It's so rewarding. Until next time, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share, and I'll catch you next time. See ya!